Imagine standing on solid ground while watching 400 million cubic meters of water rush past you at speeds of 40 kilometers per hour. That's not a river. That's not a waterfall. It's the ocean itself, churning and boiling like a massive cauldron. Welcome to Saltstraumen, home to the world's strongest tidal current, nestled on the northwestern coast of Norway, just 30 kilometers southeast of the city of Bodø. Saltstraumen lies within the Arctic Circle. This natural wonder occurs in a narrow strait that connects the outer Saltfjord with the large inland basin of Skjerstadfjord. The strait itself measures only 150 meters at its narrowest point. But it's through this bottleneck that an ocean's worth of water must squeeze twice every day. When you first approach Saltstraumen, you might wonder what all the fuss is about. The surrounding landscape is quintessentially Norwegian, with rocky shores, sparse vegetation, and mountains rising in the distance. But wait for the tide to change, and you'll witness one of nature's most spectacular displays of raw power. As the tide shifts, the water level difference between the fjord and the sea can reach up to 1 meter. That might not sound dramatic, but when you're forcing that volume of water through such a narrow passage, physics takes over with spectacular results. The water doesn't just flow, it roars. It churns. It creates whirlpools up to 10 meters in diameter and 5 meters deep. These aren't the cartoon whirlpools you might imagine. They're massive, swirling vortexes that appear and disappear across the surface of the strait. Some last for seconds, others persist for minutes. They spin with such force that they create deep depressions in the water's surface, sucking everything nearby into their spiraling depths. The sound is thunderous, a constant roar punctuated by the slapping and crashing of colliding water masses. The Maelstrom occurs 4 times daily, twice when the tide flows in and twice when it ebbs out. Each performance lasts approximately 6 hours, with the most intense activity occurring during the middle of each tidal cycle. The strongest currents happen during new and full moons, when tidal forces are at their peak. During these spring tides, the spectacle becomes even more dramatic. But what creates this aquatic chaos? The answer lies in the unique geography of the Norwegian coast. Norway's coastline is deeply indented with fjords, creating massive inland water basins. Skjerstadfjord holds an enormous volume of water that must fill and empty with each tide. The only connection to the open ocean is through the narrow Saltstraumen Strait. When the tide rises outside, water rushes through the strait fill the fjord. When the tide falls, all that water must escape back through the same narrow passage. It's like trying to empty a bathtub through a straw, except the bathtub holds billions of liters, and the forces involved are immense. The seabed beneath Saltstraumen adds another layer of complexity. The strait isn't just narrow, it's also relatively shallow at certain points, with depths ranging from 20 to 50 meters. Underwater ridges and irregular bottom topography create additional turbulence, amplifying the churning effect. When fast-moving water encounters these obstacles, it creates the dramatic whirlpools visible on the surface. For centuries, Saltstraumen struck fear into the hearts of sailors and fishermen. Norse mythology mentions the Maelstrom, likely inspired by phenomena like Saltstraumen. Edgar Allan Poe wrote his famous story, A Descent into the Maelstrom, based on these fearsome Norwegian tidal currents. Sailors told tales of ships being swallowed whole by the whirlpools, never to be seen again. While these stories were exaggerated, there was truth behind the fear. Small boats that ventured into Saltstraumen at the wrong time could indeed be capsized or swept away. Even today, navigating through the strait during peak current requires skill and respect for the water's power. Modern vessels with powerful engines can make the crossing, but timing remains crucial. Interestingly, the same forces that made Saltstraumen dangerous also made it incredibly valuable. The powerful currents create one of the richest fishing grounds in Norway. The turbulent water brings nutrients from the depths to the surface, creating an abundant food chain. Cod, coalfish, wolffish, and halibut thrive in these waters. The mixing action oxygenates the water and distributes nutrients, supporting a diverse ecosystem. Local fishermen have exploited these rich waters for thousands of years. Archaeological evidence suggests human settlement in the area dating back 10,000 years. Today, both commercial and recreational fishing remain popular. Anglers from around the world come to Saltstraumen, hoping to catch enormous coalfish that can weigh over 20 kilograms. The underwater environment is equally fascinating. Divers brave enough to enter Saltstraumen during slack tide, the brief calm period between tidal flows, discover an alien landscape. The powerful currents have scoured the rocks clean, creating dramatic underwater walls and channels. Soft corals and anemones cling to every surface, creating gardens of color. Fish swarm in massive schools, taking advantage of the nutrient-rich waters. Visiting Saltstraumen offers multiple perspectives on this natural wonder. bridge spans the strait, providing a bird's eye view of the churning waters below. Standing on this bridge, when the current is at its peak, is an unforgettable experience. The entire surface of the strait becomes a chaotic mass of swirling water, foam, and spray. The vibration of millions of tons of moving water can be felt through the bridge's structure. For a closer experience, boat tour operate from nearby Bodø. These vessels time their trips to coincide with peak current, bringing passengers right to the edge of the Maelstrom. Experienced captains navigate the turbulent waters, positioning their boats to give passengers the best views while maintaining safety. The experience is exhilarating, feeling the boat rise and fall with the turbulent water, hearing the roar of the current, seeing whirlpools form just meters away. The best time to witness Saltstraumen's full power is during spring tides, which occur during new and full moons. During these periods, tidal ranges are greatest and currents strongest. However, even during neap tides, when tidal ranges are smaller, Saltstraumen remains impressive. The phenomenon is consistent and reliable, making it accessible year-round. Summer offers the advantage of midnight sun. Above the Arctic Circle, the sun doesn't set for weeks during summer, allowing visitors to witness the Maelstrom under the ethereal light of the Arctic night. Winter brings its own magic, with the possibility of seeing the northern lights dancing above the churning waters, creating a spectacular combination of natural wonders. Saltstraumen faces relatively few environmental threats due to its remote location and the inherent power of the currents themselves. The constant water movement prevents pollution accumulation, and the area remains largely pristine. However, climate change poses potential long-term concerns. Rising sea levels and changing weather patterns could alter tidal patterns, potentially affecting the intensity of the currents. Local authorities recognize Saltstraumen's value as both a natural wonder and a tourist attraction. Efforts focus on sustainable tourism, ensuring visitors can experience the Maelstrom without damaging the environment. Educational displays near the bridge explain the science behind the phenomenon, fostering appreciation and understanding. Saltstraumen reminds us that Earth's greatest shows don't always require exotic locations or extreme climates. Sometimes, the simple interaction of water, rock, and gravity creates something extraordinary. This Maelstrom has churned for thousands of years and will continue for thousands more. A perpetual demonstration of nature's unstoppable power. When you witness Saltstraumen, You're not just seeing a tidal current. You're watching the ocean breathe, feeling the planet's pulse, experiencing the raw force that shapes our world.